Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Exos Heroes video. If it is your first time joining the channel, thank you very much for stopping in. My name is CWC Zeppelin, and I make about 3 or 4 Exos Heroes videos a week. At least I try to. There's no set schedule. But I make videos based on the latest news, some guides that might help people that don't spend too much on games like this, and maybe just what's happening currently in the game. So if that kind of stuff interests you, why don't you hit the subscribe button and the like button, leave a comment below. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the support, and it gives me incentive to keep making videos for you guys. But today's video is going to be part 1 of a beginner series that I'm going to do. Now, there's a lot of really good beginner's guides out there, and I use some of them whenever I started playing the game. But there's been a couple big patches within the game that has added even more depth to it. So I wanted to just break it up into different parts to maybe go into a little more detail and help people that are just starting out, because I would have liked to have known these things whenever I started playing. It would have made it a little easier for me, as the game can kind of be overwhelming with everything that's going on. Okay? So today's video, we are going to just focus on heroes and some simple battle mechanics that are going to help you progress through the story mode. So if you've seen any other beginner's guides out there, they're going to tell you that you need to progress through the story mode as quickly as you can. And that is 100% true. The reason why they suggest this is because the further along you get in the story mode, the more things that are going to unlock throughout the game. So with that being said, that's why I wanted to make this video, to show you how to progress through the story mode quickly, understand mechanics, and hopefully just this quick little 10-minute video is going to help you understand how the game works, so you can move on to the next video and learn some more advanced things, okay? So like I said, progress through this as fast as you can, but you need to do that with heroes. Heroes are very important to the game, hence why it's in the title. The game starts you off with a couple of heroes as you progress, and that's good. Some of them are okay, some of them are kind of bad. So first, let's go over what the heroes are. If you go to your journal here, you'll see that there's different labels. These are the rarities of heroes. Now, fated heroes are the hardest ones to get, and they're primarily the best ones in the game. That's not always true, as some of the fated characters are kind of bad, but most of them are very good. Then you have legendary, which is the next highest rarity, and a lot of these characters are actually pretty good and used over some of the fated characters. Rare characters, some of them are serviceable in the story mode. Most of them are useless, but some of them can be good. The magical and common characters are actually used in other areas of the game, not primarily the story mode, so they're kind of useless there. But you always want to keep at least one copy of each character so you can use them throughout the multiple areas of this game, all right? So now that you know the rarities, the next thing you need to understand are these characters each have 3 different unique things about them. They have a passive ability, which is this top thing here, which is a continuous ability. As soon as you go into battle, this thing is always active, all right? And a lot of the fated characters actually have very good passive abilities, which is why they're very good in comparison to some of the legendary or rare characters. Then the next thing that they have are 2 unique abilities as well, usually that deal a lot of damage. Some of them just support your other characters by giving them percentage boosts to like their attack or defense or hit points, things of that nature, but it's usually based around their attacking ability. So if you look at Rachel here, his first attack is called Quick Slash, and it deals 315% damage to 1 enemy. And then his second attack is an even higher multiplier, where it also deals damage to 1 enemy. Now, your characters throughout the game, they have a couple different things, right? They can deal damage to 1 enemy, or they can deal damage to all enemies. Whenever you're progressing through the story mode, you really want to look for characters that have the ability to deal damage to all enemies. It's going to be very helpful and help you get through the story mode easier. just because you're dealing damage to everybody, and you also have the chance to break Guardian Stones on enemies, which we're going to get in right at the end of this video, which is how you make the story mode easier, right? But the thing that I want to touch on with these attacks is, as you can see here under Silent Slash, it says required mana, which is 5. Now, you can't use this unless you generate mana. Now, how do you do that, right? How do you generate mana? If you go into the Help tab here, you can click on Battle Guide, and it tells you how you generate mana in the game. It gives a by element and then also by type. So by type is for any kind of rarity hero, which means if it's a rare hero or if it's a legendary hero, this is how they generate mana. Same thing with Faded. So if they're attack type or chaos type, anytime they have a successful hit on a basic attack, they're going to generate 1 mana. Attack type and chaos type heroes are perceived as the best type in the game because they can generate that mana easier than, say, defense type or support types. Defense and support types generate mana when they're attacked, so it's a little harder for them to generate it because the enemy can attack your other heroes. So it's not always guaranteed that they're going to be attacked. Now, by element is tricky here because it only applies to characters that are 5-star or higher. And I don't know if you took notice, but the Faded characters are actually the only ones that start at level 5. Now, you can actually level up your legendary and rare, magical, and commons up to 5-star, even to 6-star. But we're going to get into that in a separate video because it's kind of complicated. So that's why I wanted to say that in regards to generating mana, it's probably best to just focus on this attack type and defense type stuff instead of the elements. You can go in and read this and figure out how they generate mana if they're 5-star or higher based on their element. But primarily just focus on this typing at the very beginning of the game. You can tell which kind of type the character is by going into the journal here and hovering over the top left. If you hold on your screen, that's how you can tell. So Rachel here is actually a fire element, and there's 6 elements in the game. He is an attack type, so that means whenever he attacks with his basic attack, he's going to generate 1 mana. And then he's also physical, and that comes in later in the game. You don't need to worry about it right now. Where Garf here, per se, if you click on him, is actually a defense type. So Garf will generate mana whenever he's attacked, where Rachel will generate mana if he attacks. So look out for those characters. If you're going through the game and you don't know why some characters have mana and others don't, that's why. So now that we've discussed basic attacks, how they generate mana, and their passives, the next thing to know is how to actually get these heroes, right? So the game starts you off with a couple, but if you wanted to get more, you can go to this Recruit tab down here, and you can recruit heroes. Now, you do this by using Zez, which is your premium currency in the game. The game actually gives out a decent amount weekly, daily, monthly, and through achievements. So you can stockpile this if you wanted to. If you're smart with your Zez, you can actually be free to play in this game and still be very successful. So if you're in this Recruit banner, you'll see that there's a couple different tabs, right? The top one is usually I say, the best one to pull on because it has the newest character in the game, and as you know with most games, most gacha games, the latest and greatest character is usually a little more broken than, the older characters. In this case, if you're watching this, the day it comes out, this character is not good. You should not pull for him, in my opinion. But you can see which characters are available in the pool by clicking on that information icon, and this is where all of your characters are, okay? They have the best rates for the latest character, and they also have some decent rates for the other characters, all right? So banners like this are always good to pull on. The Premium Recruit banner is always there. It's never a bad thing to pull on it because you also have the same kind of characters in there. It's just the new character will not be in there, and his rates will be lower once he actually is included. So It's tricky, but again, it's not a terrible thing to pull on. This string of creation thing requires a whole different video, so just watch out for that one. But as for now, if you're a brand new player, stay away from this string of creation tab. You really don't want to do it, okay? And then the other way to get heroes, which is a free way, and this is through the door to creation. If you go to your craft book here, you can do it through this dimension recruit, which the game actually gives you these clocks, actually in abundance at the beginning. You want to use these in this door to creation. It's the primary way to use it. It's the only way to use it. And it can give you some pretty good characters. It has most of the pull in here, and it is your percentages of pulling the faded characters are actually much lower, obviously. But like I said, you can get some pretty good legendary characters through here for free. So that's one way of doing it. And then the other one is this Exodium recruit, which has similar characters. It also has, similar rates. It's a little less than the clocks. The clocks are harder to get, so it's going to be better rates with the clock. But these Exodiums, which I'll get into in a later video, should be used here to also pull for characters. So a couple different ways to get your heroes, okay? Let's go into a story mode battle and show you some basic battle mechanics and how you can actually progress to the story mode a little easier just by knowing this one simple kind of trick. So let's go into chapter 2 here, because this is what I have set up. So if you click on the chapter right before you go battle, it says in this main tab here, your enemy's Guardian Stone info. What this means is your enemies are going to have these things above their heads. And it's dependent on the element of your character. You know how I said at the beginning of the video that there's 6 elements? Well, this is where that comes into play. So your enemy's Guardian Stones in this chapter are fire and light. So that means I want to bring fire and light characters into this battle to make it easier for me. And I'll show you what that means right now. So I already have my light and fire characters in my team to show you what I mean, all right? As you can see here, Serenado is a light character and David Johnson is a fire character. You can see that on the bottom right of their picture at the top left right there. So let's go into this battle and I'll show you what you should be doing when you're playing through the story mode to help you progress and make the fights easier, okay? And then we'll end the video. So there's 3 enemies, and if you start from the left, kind of like where David Johnson is, in between his axe and his face, that character has a red Guardian Stone. That means if he's attacked by a character that is a fire element, he will break. I guess means like he's stunned or dazed. He won't take his turn if he's next in line. So if you see at the bottom of the screen here, it shows who's next to attack, right? So David Johnson is first. So if he attacks one of these fire characters, either the left or right, they're going to miss their turn. So we'll attack this guy on the right. And it says break right there, right? So now it also has a little 6 and 5. That means each turn that comes up, this decreases. Once it goes away, he will then go back to normal and he'll have his regular turn. So whenever they're broken, they are very vulnerable. They're going to take some more damage. It's an easy way to clear them. And if you see the guy in the middle, he has a light Guardian Stone. Now Liechtenstein here is a light element. So if he attacks him, he's going to break him. So let's do that. Okay, so now he is also vulnerable. Now the guy on the right has 3 turns before he breaks out of this, so we kind of want to get rid of him right now, or he's going to be a problem for us. All right, so we're going to try and attack him and take him out. Okay, so now he's done. Now the next guy has a break of 5, right? And if you see down here at the bottom, his turn is coming up in 4 turns, so he's going to miss it. So we don't have to worry about him right now. So now David Johnson is back up. So as you can see, since David Johnson is an attack type, he actually generated 1 mana, which you can see at the bottom of his health bar down here, right? he has that one little block. So now this attack that requires 1 mana is now available to him. So he can deal a lot of damage. So we'll go in, we'll click on that, and then we'll attack this guy over here. So he did about half that guy's health bar. So it was pretty strong. So now we're going to try and attack this guy because he's going to break out of his little trance. And again, this character is an attack character, so he generated 1 mana as well. So now we can use his stronger attack. So his 1 mana ability actually deals 81% to all enemies. So he's going to attack both of these guys, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. So if you use this simple strategy at the beginning of the game, you're going to progress through it very quickly. Okay, guys? So I hope this helped. I know it was very elementary, but a lot of people actually don't know this. I didn't know this whenever I started the game. So I hope this helped you. I hope you tune in for the second video where I'm going to go a little more into detail into other things. So thank you very much for watching.